Lesson 120. Russian word order can be flexible. In this lesson, we want to address some of the basic differences between English and Russian. At this point in the book, you've been working with Russian nouns long enough to know that Russian nouns have a declension pattern. That means that Russian nouns are inflected, or we could say that they have inflected noun endings. We do not have that in English. In English, the word car is going to be the same form, whether it's the subject, indirect object, direct object, whatever it is, the word car always just stays as C-A-R, car. But in Russian, the endings of the nouns change depending on what that particular noun is doing in the sentence. And so this has implications for word order. So the way word order works in Russian is different from the way word order works in English. And we have a few examples here. For example, the sentence, Clara sees Anna, and then we have Anna sees Clara. In English, since we do not have endings to our nouns, we depend heavily on word order to communicate meaning. We tend, generally, to put the subject first, and then the verb, and then the direct object. That's just the expected word order. So if we say, Clara sees Anna, we know that Clara is the subject, and Anna is the direct object, just because that's the way it fits with that particular word order. If we switch around Anna and Clara and say, Anna sees Clara, now it's a completely different sentence. So again, in English, we depend heavily on word order to communicate meaning. There are certain expected word orders. So if we switch Clara and Anna in the sentence, that changes the word order, and therefore it changes the meaning of the sentence completely. But here's the big difference with Russian. With Russian, each noun has a different ending depending on if it's nominative, accusative, or whatever it's doing in the sentence. And because the nouns have those fixed endings, it means that you can switch the order around and the sentence still means the same thing because that special ending is still there. In our first Russian sentence example here, it says Clara sees Anna, and Anna's name is in the accusative case. It's Anu. Just by looking at her name, you can tell that it's the direct object because of the special ending. You can tell that it's accusative, and so it's the direct object. So here's the really important thing. Even if we take her name and put it at the front of the sentence, as long as it still has that accusative ending, someone reading that sentence will know that Anna is the direct object. Even if the word order changes, the special accusative ending still tells you that Anna is the direct object. Also, Clara, just by looking at it, you can tell that her name is nominative. So with these two Russian examples, both word orders mean the same thing because the endings stayed the same. The inflected noun endings stayed the same, and so with inflected noun endings, you can switch around the words into various orders, but the sentence will still communicate the same thing because of the endings. The endings tell the story. The endings show what the function of each word is. So this is a huge difference between Russian and English. Quick review. In English, we do not have inflected noun endings, so we depend heavily on word order to communicate meaning. If you change the word order, you generally change the meaning of the sentence. In Russian, they have inflected noun endings, and so you can change the word order around, and the endings of the nouns will still show what that noun is doing, and so word order is more flexible. They do not depend on word order as much as we do to communicate meaning. So as a student of Russian, this is a thing that you need to get comfortable with. The fact that a Russian sentence can be flexible. You have to look at the individual meanings and endings of words to try to put the sentence together. You cannot just depend on word order. This may be difficult for some of you at first, but the good news is, as with anything else, you will get better at it over time with practice and experience.